The Secret of the Throne. King Alarak has sat upon the throne of the Kingdom of Hartman for nearly 40 years. He has been your patron for the past 3 years. Since the first time you met the king, you have known him to be honorable, truthful, compassionate, and dependable. That was until a year ago. Summoned to the royal chambers, King Alarak charged you to seek out the demi-lich Carnarast and retrieve a shard of black. Your mission was successful, and you returned to the king. When you asked His Majesty what the shard was, you were for the first time shut out of the information. "Concern yourselves with the next task," was all the king had to say on the subject. Your next task was to journey to the Valley of Toshla, a evil, corrupted, and forbidden area in the neighboring kingdom of Erst, and bring back a sample of the fallen star that fell nearly a century ago. Your mission was successful, but at the cost of a valiant companion, the gnomish cleric Douglas, who had traveled with you since the king first noticed your skills and abilities. Returning to the king once again, he refused to answer your inquiries on the reason for needing the dangerous and costly item. Alarak scoffed at your request of honoring Douglas and refused to speak of the noble sacrifice the gnome had made, instead stating only, Good, now be gone. I will have another mission for you soon." And he did. You were tasked to find the wreckage of the Air Sprite, a notorious ship that had been lost off the coast of Brandon many years earlier. When you located the wreckage, you found that it had not been an evil that had drowned the ship, but unfortunate weather, but that it had been pilfered by a group of Tritons. Through negotiation, you were able to acquire the item by slaying a great intelligent Sharkle abomination, and holding the case in hand, you opened it, revealing the Barunda wand, a powerful talisman that you discovered allows one to control a dangerous item called a Sphere of Annihilation. You returned to the king to deliver the wand, but before you could even speak about what you had learned, you were ordered from the chamber. But you made note that the countenance of the king shifted. There was a covetous look that crossed the king's face. The pieces have been many, and your investigations into the countenance of the king's changing suddenly have led you to a conclusion. This is not King Alarak. You set forth to seek the greatest of oracles, Phil, who only spoke to seekers of prognostication 1 day per year. When you arrived upon his hillock in the snowy fields, you knocked upon his door, and as he stepped forth from his wintry home, he looked into your eyes and said, "The king is dead! The shadow behind the throne lights upon red wings!" He then looked down, startled, turned, and fled into his home, shutting the door. With this information, you began your journey back to the capital. Stopping in at the Sun Soul Monastery, the wise leader, Win Alt, overheard your discussions about the 3 items you had been tasked to retrieve. "A shard of black, you say? In my youth, I was sent forth on such a quest to protect the castle of Felras. And in the highest tower we fought a crazed wizard who had a sphere of annihilation. My companion, Lo Rak, battled for control of the sphere, and winning was able to push it back into the wizard. The sphere drew him in, leaving nothing but dust. Lo Rak knew not what we could do with such an item, so opening a portal to the 9 Hells, he pushed the sphere through. Upon contact with the barrier of the portal, the sphere shattered, leaving black crystal shards. Thinking that such the item was destroyed, we left. I can think of no goodly reason anyone would have to acquire such an item." Venturing forth, more determined now to get answers from the false king, You met Father Anton upon the road, the mentor and trainer of your fallen companion Douglas. I wish to tell you that your mission to the Valley of the Fallen Star has me greatly concerned. For you see, that star had been snuffed out by the gods themselves and hurled to the earth. But within that, shards held great reservoirs of divine and arcane energies. Be wary of who tasked you to retrieve such items. Armed with the knowledge that King Alarak is a false king, and he wanted pieces of a sphere of annihilation, the power reservoir of a falling star, and the talisman that would allow him a control of a sphere of annihilation, you have but one thing to do. You must confront the shadow behind the throne and stop whatever malfeasance is going on in the castle.